Hello, 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 people. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's been quite fantastic day, to be honest, to be an Arsenal fan. The Champions League draw has happened, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks phenomenal to say the least. So we're definitely gonna discuss that a bit more in detail. Of course, during the weekend we are playing in Premier League against Chelsea. Chelsea again. And of course, we're going to talk about all that as well. We're going to talk about Chelsea. We're going to talk about Champions League. We're going to talk all that good stuff. So we're going to go from there and see what is what. But yeah, people, let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel and everything about Champions League draw, about everything, about all that good stuff, and we're gonna go from there. But yeah, it's good to be back. It is good to be back. It's good to be live streaming. So do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and of course, leave your thoughts down in the live chat below so we can tackle them, we can discuss them, and we can go from there. Give me a sec. But yeah, it's great. It is great. The Champions League draw was one of those that was very, 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 very anticipated. It was a bit nerve-wracking depending on which side we're gonna get. But overall, we lucked out. We genuinely lucked out to the maximum degree, to be honest, if you ask me, because the level of the draw, the teams we drew, the teams we can get, and everything, it is actually quite insane if you actually think about it, how everything has shifted into this, that Arsenal are in this position where there are no excuses to not to get at least to semifinals. Yeah, semifinals is the bare minimum right now to the ironic degree. Then we're could face quite a few teams, and we might as well get into it right now, because the Champions League one, it's actually quite interesting if you ask me. But yeah, Arsenal are in this bracket where we have to play against Leverkusen, right? It's gonna be a tougher game that most people expect, but at the same time, there should not be too many problems for Arsenal. Afterwards, if Arsenal go through, Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon, basically Gyökeres could play against his own old team, or we could get the actual biggest dark horses of this competition, because Bodo Glimt have been quite phenomenal. They play as a team, and they absolutely feel like they are one of those teams that it's not going to be easy for anyone, and I mean anyone, against them. Because let's be real, they were not even in the final round to get to playoffs into Champions League. Their last two games was against Man City at home, Atletico Madrid away, and they won them both, right? Then they go into these playoffs where they have to beat Inter Milan, where pretty much every last 3 rounds, the odds massively have been stacked against them. But at the end, they actually managed to go through, beat them all, and now they are in a bracket where they could actually get to quarterfinals somehow. And I kid you not, the game on the artificial on the turf, right? And it's gonna be rough in the Arctic Circle for Arsenal. We have been there. We have played against them. It was not easy. Let's be real. Obviously, Arsenal's advantage is that the second game is going to be at home. No matter how you look at it, up until the semifinal, final, the second game is going to be at home. So we'll see how everything goes in that regard. But yeah, big up Mubarak. Hope you're doing well. My perspective is that Arsenal got a chance to prove themselves against top team like Leverkusen. It's a great opportunity to again experience and test their skills. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Bayer Leverkusen, it's not one of the big dogs, as people would say. At the same time, they're gonna be a tough matchup. They're definitely gonna be a tough matchup, no matter how you look at it, because they are in a very good form right now. It's gonna be interesting to see how Arsenal fare against them. At the same time, Arsenal, we should get past them. Like, let's be real. The semi-final where we could play against Newcastle or Barcelona or Atletico Madrid again or Spurs, lol. It we should get their minimum, and then it's final. Obviously, for me, it's final and winning it at the end of the day. That for me is the minimum. But if Arsenal don't go to semi-finals, in the worst case scenario, it's embarrassing. And again, Arteta should be going on the spot. Let's just put it that way. Big up, Kwaja. Hope you're doing well. Good evening. Welcome, 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 welcome. And prediction for Sunday. Oh. Oh, bless me. Holy moly. 2-1 Arsenal, 2-1 Chelsea, stinky 2-1. Like, I don't care even at this stage. Like, don't care if it's stinky, if it's beautiful, or anything. Get the job done. Because to win it all, to get silverware at the end of the day, you need to know how to win ugly, right? And luckily for Arsenal, and unfortunately at the same time for fans, many times they just win ugly. Let's just put it that way. But it is what it is. We rack the points up, we do our thing, and nobody can complain, to be honest. Big up Gunnar SC. Lavakar. Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. True. Haven't streamed in a week. Well, 5 days. So yeah. Big up King. Big up Marlon. Big up. If we don't reach minimum, the semis sack him. Yeah. Semis should be bare minimum to go there. We should reach semis minimum. That is worst case scenario. For Arsenal, to reach semifinals is the worst case scenario in this regard. If we lose to Leverkusen or Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon, who we're going to face, sack him on the spot. They're not winning. Chelsea are not winning. Big up. Yeah, it could be, but at the same time, you cannot disregard Bodo Glimt. They are a tough cookie to crack. They don't have big names in their team, but they play as a team. And many times, there are countless examples that a team which plays like a team beats a team where there are a lot of names. So hopefully we don't do that. Let's just put it that way. Big up AFC always. Big up. We don't make the semi-final or final. It's a failure. Yeah, exactly. For me personally, we have to make it to the final at least. Because if you are the one that takes Mikel Arteta's preaching as the gospel, he says every single year after the season, our goal is to go one step forward every single season. Our goal is to go to the next level and don't settle for being second. For Arsenal, based on last season, if we just take last season, best advancements, improvements are getting to the final, winning the league, getting to the 5th or 6th round of FA Cup, and winning Carabao Cup final, and we are there and winning the Carabao Cup. So we are getting there, but will we win it in the end? That is the big question. Bowling has already started. We ain't making Champions League final. We could. Depends on semi-final, obviously. Watch Arteta ball it to Bodo. Like, I would be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised. Because the way Bodo plays and how they have dealt, again, with Man City, with Atletico Madrid, with Inter Milan, I would not be surprised. Yes, Inter Milan is a mess. Atletico Madrid at home, that was before they actually signed Lookman, because the Lookman signing has absolutely transformed Atletico Madrid. They in the attack, they look much more threatening, much more direct, more creative, because they had Sorla, they had Griezmann, Julian Alvarez, but you knew that it was not enough. Let's just put it that way. And them getting Lookman definitely has given them a different dynamic, which they're utilizing to the fullest of potentials. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, against Bodo, over 2 legs against Bodo Glimt, it will be tough. No matter we play home or away. Away game, if we play them, it's gonna be so difficult because that stadium is gonna be rocking. It's at the Arctic Circle, so you know it's gonna be cold as hell, and you're used to playing on proper pitch, like it's plus 15, plus 20, everything's shiny, sunny, and yeah. And then you go to play Bodo Glimt where there's not a real pitch. It's obviously obviously tough. Then you have to play in negative numbers and like -5, and you're starting to cramp up. Your muscles are freezing and everything. Like it could go south real quick. Let's just put it that way. Big up AJ. Big up AJ once again. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Big up. Yeah, people. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Listen to AJ. Listen to AJ, people. Listen, 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 listen. Why I'm the only one that predicts us to lose? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But that's the biggest thing. Like Chelsea, they don't have Fofana. He has a red card. Estevao is not playing. Who else they don't have? Cucurella is injured, right? He's also not playing. They, technically speaking, don't have some of the three of specifically their best players, right? Obviously, they have Caicedo, Reece James, and all these guys. At the same time, they don't have some of them. And well, we have been in these spots where we kind of screw it up sometimes. Let's just put it that way. There we have been in those situations, and that is the biggest worry. Yeah, Wolves versus oh freaking hell! Wolves versus Aston Villa has kicked off. Still 0-0, 11 minutes in. So we'll see. We're gonna follow that a bit separately, but we're gonna follow that, see what develops in that game, because that Aston Villa needs a win if they want to keep that in top four at least. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, if he loses the final second, well, we have to get there first, and getting to Champions League final, it's not going to be a piece of cake. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you want to look at it, game against Leverkusen, it's not going to be easy. Games against Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon are not going to be easy. Especially, we need to take, if we play against Sporting Lisbon, we need to take the revenge over the Europa League. Remember the Europa League debacle and Goncalves lobbing Ramsdale from half pitch and everything. We need to take some proper revenge over that. Obviously, it's going to be the Gyökeres derby. We signed him from them, and it was a huge drama, huge saga on the Telemundo and everything. It's going to be all over the place. It's going to be on the biggest talking points. Let's just put it that way. 8 likes. Big up to you all. Big up to you all. Big up, Roy. Big up, Roy. This weekend, I will become Leeds and Fulham supporter if that's the season again, dude. Don't say it out loud, but just move in silence. Like, any points dropped for opposing sides, great for us. Otherwise, well, we'll see. Arsenal need to do their job first. Obviously, we played the last game of the weekend. We play after City, after Villa, after everyone else. And it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting how Arsenal handle that pressure again. Let's put it that way. Sunday, Arsenal had a huge advantage. Chelsea missing key players from defense. So looking, yeah, exactly. Tosin is just a hole. If Rossinier decides to play Tosin, like, it's advantage for us. Let's just put it that way. Not having Cucurella, big miss for them, because he locks up Saka, and Saka always has tough times against him. Now, most likely, they're going to play Gusto as a left back once again, like they did previously in the last weekend. So maybe Saka is going to have a better time. So time only will tell. The Fofana is out suspended. So definitely it's going to be rough. Definitely it's going to be rough. Arteta could easily lose to Sporting. Yeah, exactly. Bodo Glimt as well. Don't write. I don't know why people tend to write Bodo Glimt off. Lisbon need to get past them first, and I think the Bodo Glimt have very good chances to advance in that leg as well, in my opinion. But Arsenal have been blessed royally. Sprinkle gold dust and all this crap, right? In the draw in the Champions League, getting Leverkusen, then potentially Lisbon Sporting or Bodo Glimt, and getting a proper opponent, so to speak, only in semifinals. Arsenal have been blessed in that regard. Obviously, we are getting for the billionth time City versus Real Madrid again. Chelsea are playing against PSG. Liverpool are playing against Galatasaray. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Galatasaray fares against Liverpool. Definitely, it's going to be very interesting to see, looking at Liverpool, right? And the big thing is, at the end of the day, with March, in 2 days, starts the business part of the season, right? The proper knockout stages of Champions League, end of the season, the title race, and everything. And Arsenal have a tendency to screw March up, or April. 1 or 2 months, they tend to screw it up. And I just hope it doesn't happen this season. Let's be real. Move in silence and see what happens. Big up, Khwaja. Big up. Welcome. It's good to be back. It happened again. We beat the scum 4-1. Like, if we beat Chelsea 4-5-1, oh my goodness, it would be glorious. The best case scenario in these games, in this game against Chelsea, Madueke scores like 2 goals or something like that. Because when sometimes I scroll to TikTok or go on YouTube and you see those reaction channels where they have compiled all the reactions, right? And you see Chelsea fans crashing over the fact that the ex-Chelsea player who has signed for Arsenal has dunked on them like Havertz did in that 5-1 win and everything. Like, it is glorious to watch. It is genuinely glorious to watch. Spud's getting on. It would be insane even to think about it. Like, then to imagine next season Spurs traveling to like Wales and traveling to play like Swansea, and it seems like Swansea and Wrexham potentially if they don't get promoted and stuff like that. It actually would be insane, to be honest. Big up, Hendon. Big up. Hope you're doing well today, and thank you for being here. Big up. March is the start of the business end of the season. We know how pressure affects this Arsenal team. Yeah, I also don't take Leverkusen lightly. One game at a time, exactly. On paper, right? Arsenal should get to semi-finals. I'm not gonna say with ease, but we should get to semi-finals where we most likely gonna face Barcelona or Atletico Madrid, someone like that, right? At the same time, Leverkusen are in a very good form, best form of this season they are in at the moment, right? They're doing very, very good. Schick is balling. Their team has been got caught second wind or has risen like a phoenix and stuff like that. It's gonna be tough. People expect an easy way. It's not gonna be as easy. Do we have the easiest tree to get to semifinals? Yes, we do. At the same time, it's not gonna be as easy as people most likely think. Let's just put it that way, because it's gonna be rough. We will have to grind out some games. Obviously, European football suits us more. Let's be real. So we'll see how that's gonna go. Genuinely, let's see how that's gonna go. Second leg of Champions League is played 4 or 5 days before the Carabao Cup final. That will be playing in the minds of the players. True. The thing is, if we do our job in the first leg against whoever we played, to be honest, I think it's It's Leverkusen. If we do our job against Leverkusen in the first leg, we should be fine. The thing is, Real Madrid is the City's opponent. City has to play Real Madrid before Carabao Cup final. And knowing how Pep rotates, how he rests players, they will be up for it, and they will be up for the final. Players will be more rested. Players will be more focused, right? Because Arsenal tend to use more or less the same players with less rotation, the injuries and all this stuff. So Arsenal are not going to be in as good of a position. Let's just put it that way. At the same time, Arsenal have to play Leverkusen, right? City has to play Real Madrid. 2 different caliber of opponents. Let's just put it that way. I have been watching a lot of live Spurs supporter blogs in the last few days. Arsenal broke them, yeah. I've seen some Spurs fans on some very heavy copium, let's just put it that way, saying that the first half against Arsenal that gave me hope because we didn't get barred and everything and all that stuff. It's actually wild, to be honest. The copium and hopium is mad. One game at a time, exactly. Should we get Manieri from Marseille? Our fixture list files up. I don't think there are recall clauses in that contract. I think he's staying there till the end of the season. What if we pull a Liverpool, except to win the title? We'll see. I would love, for example, Arsenal to run away with the league right now. I would love nothing more that, for example, let's just say we get to the semifinals of the Champions League. But I would love, by that time, to be, let's just say, 10 points clear of City. I would absolutely love it, because that would give Arsenal extra chance to focus, actually, on Champions League. That would be nothing more, nothing less. That would be quite fantastic. If Spurs do get relegated, the financial impact could be devastating. Loss of sponsors, stadium debt repayment terms. It could ruin them, but I don't think so. Spurs... The biggest thing with Spurs is they have built their stadium in such a way that it can host go-karts, world-class celebrities like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and all these type of people are coming there. They will find a way to stay afloat. Because there is no chance in hell that Spurs are gonna stay in championship for more than one season. They're gonna kind of come instantly right back up. At least that would be the expectation. The big thing is though the wages their players are on, and to think that they're gonna be on the same wages in championship, that could definitely affect them somewhat big time. Although it would give also them uh, more power to you to play players like Bergwall, Odeber, and all these players. It would actually give them more incentive, and they could develop quicker. As in suffer a round of 16 exit and lose the Carabao. If we lose, if we get, if Leverkusen beat us and we lose the Carabao Cup final, sack him right now, because that just shows that he's not ready to win the trophies and he's not going to win the Premier League. Because if Arteta now is going to start to focus just on one competition to try some way sort of guarantee a victory there, we are screwed royally. You cannot put all the eggs in one basket. You need to separate them, move them accordingly. Luckily enough, Carabao Cup final is one game, and after that it's done, right? So we will have less games. At the same time, we'll see. Big up, Andre. I mean, Arteta has the chance to do something special. Yeah, that draw is crazy. That draw is in Arsenal's favor until semi-finals. It's in Arsenal's favor by a mile, based on how we have gone this draw, right? And Arteta has a chance to do something no Arsenal manager in their lifetime has achieved at Arsenal, and that is to win the Champions League. Because until we get to the semi-finals, we have the easiest way on paper, right? In real life, that's a different story because of everything, right? But overall, it's never going to be easy. The Bayer Leverkusen Arsenal match is on Wednesday, 11th of the March. Yeah. Oh, it's an early kickoff as well. Damn, it's 7:45. It's not even at 10. Interesting. I get it why as well. Bayern Munich and all this stuff, right? So Arsenal have an earlier kickoff. It will be interesting to see how Arsenal fare with that. Hopefully we do well. March 11th, so 2 weeks away. Fingers crossed. Like players could even get some rest, but players could get some rest if we get the job done accordingly. Let's just put it that way. Because if we deal with Leverkusen, right, in the first leg, let's just say it's 3-0, right? In the second leg, we can rotate and rest some players, especially since we play second leg at home, and that is up until semifinals, right? We can rotate and rest some players, right? If we go to the Carabao Cup, we do our job, right? We will, or even if we don't, ironically enough, we will have less games. We will have less games, and we will be only in 3 competitions. It's going to be interesting to see after the FA Cup final who we're going to face after Mansfield, obviously. But that also is only going to be determined after the games and when the draw is going to happen. The big issue is we have Chelsea, we have City coming up twice, by the way, in the league and in the Premier, in the Cup. Obviously, there's a month in between, but there's Champions League. So there are going to be some very tough games. And from all the big games in Premier League, obviously, Arsenal only have Newcastle, Chelsea, and City. Those are the 3 big teams Arsenal have. Rest of the teams are mid-table, lower-end sides for Arsenal. Or let's just say 8th to below that. Well, not even 8th. It's 9th to 20th in that bracket, which, as an Arsenal fan, you should be feeling comfortable because we should be beating them. At the same time, those are the teams that cause Arsenal the most problems. Arsenal always can put themselves up to play a big game, like Real Madrid, Chelsea, and all these teams, right? Now, when we play these Brightons, Bournemouths, Evertons, Fulhams, those are the ones where we somehow struggle quite heavily because teams sit back and everything. They don't want to come out of their own shell, and they try to get us on counters and all this stuff. They're going to try to get a point, right? So for me, the biggest problems are going to be those games. And the Brighton away game already, I'm worried. I'm not going to lie. And all it's not as easy as people make it out to be. Now games are gonna be tough, easy. Sorry, and also it's a different type of pressure when you play these type of games in the beginning of the season and at the end of the season. Because in the beginning of the season, if you drop points, you still have the whole season to fix some mistakes, right? Mentally recharge and all this stuff, and you're Gucci. Now, at this stage, when you're in title race, the gap is literally as small as possible. You have these big teams to play against, or the small teams, you need to focus on more competitions. The pressure is 10 times higher because every single point dropped could mean that the other team, in this case Man City, are going to get ahead of us, tied on the table and everything. It could go tits up, or shit can hit the fan real quick, and unfortunately we cannot recover real quick. That also could be the case. Big up Anfield the Red. Yeah, you're having Galatasaray again. You need to get Galatasaray. You tend to do well against Galatasaray, but we'll see. Against Osimhen and Demman, it's going to be very interesting to see how you play there. You are not as convincing at home anymore. So Galatasaray are going to be very interesting to see how they fare against you. Playing in Turkey is never easy for any opponent. So definitely you have your way cut out for yourselves. And after obviously, if you get past Galatasaray, it could be Chelsea or PSG. If it's PSG, it's going to be very interesting to see. Yes, it's not the same PSG. They don't have Donnarumma. They are and everything. Dembele is injured. How long he's going to be out for, I don't remember on top of my head. And everything, like, they are a bit more vulnerable with Chevalier in goal and all this stuff. At the same time, you never know. You never know. You think Anfield? Do you think you're gonna get to like quarterfinals, or do you think you're gonna go out to Galatasaray? That's my question to you. Big up, Gavin. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well today, bro. Hope everything's fine with you and everything's rosy in your garden. Big up, Coffee gang. Coffee at 10:30. Very nice job. Very smart decisions. But yeah, anyone want to talk about any other Champions League draws? Because these draws are actually quite interesting, quite entertaining, if you ask me. While we are on the topic of Champions League, do you think it's for Arsenal? Obviously, it's very straightforward. Let's just put it that way. If we get to semifinals, we will face Newcastle or Barcelona or Atletico Madrid or Spurs. Well, Spurs, I think, I don't think. Spurs are going to go out against Atletico Madrid, right? You would expect, I don't even know, this Newcastle-Barcelona game will be very, very entertaining. I fully expect this game to be very interesting, and it's going to be very rough watch for Newcastle and Barcelona fans. I fully expect that. That game, on paper, feels like Barcelona should be flying over them, right? Demolishing. At the same time, definitely it's going to be a closer battle than people expect. And it's going to be a very interesting watch. Let's just put it that way. Man City versus Real Madrid. Well, what new can be said about this game? Because this is like 5th or 6th time they're facing each other in the last like 5-6 years, what it feels like. They play each other every single season in Champions League one way or another. Like, there's nothing new in that. Like, so it's very hard to understand how this draw happens, because it could be on purpose, it could be rigged. At the same time, it could be very easy, very fair. Like, go figure, because to play with the same team 5 years, 6 years in a row, like, the randomizer has something. There's a glitch in the matrix or in the system. Go figure. I have a Bayern Munich versus Atletico Madrid final. Interesting. Very interesting. For me personally, what I would love to see is Arsenal versus Bayern Munich in the final. That is a game I would love to see, right? At the same time, looking from the left to right, for me, if Dembele comes back and he is actually in a good form, I think PSG are going to make it to the semi or at least the final, right? At the same time, overall, I expect Bayern Munich to get to the final. For me, Bayern Munich, after Arsenal, based on the three, are the favorites at the moment. I think Bayern Munich are going to deal with either City or Real Madrid, no matter how you want to look at it, right? No matter what form Mbappe is in or Haaland is in. Personally. On the other side, for me, the big question is what's going to come down from that top right corner. For Arsenal, we must get to the semifinals. We should be getting to the semifinals. Worst case scenario. If we go out to Leverkusen or Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon in quarterfinals, Arteta has to go. I'm very sorry about that. Because that would be totally and utterly unacceptable, in my opinion. In the semifinals, the team I want to face the least in the semifinals of Champions League, if we get there, is, and people might disagree with me on this, Atletico Madrid. That is the team I really don't want to face in the semifinals. Because over 2 legs, it's gonna be rough. Yes, we beat them in the group stages convincingly in the second half. They, at the moment, Atletico Madrid look much better, much more threatening, much more direct, and more solid as well. Yes, they lead goals, that I cannot deny. At the same time, I think against the same team, good teams that are title-winning teams don't lose to the same team twice in the same competition. We saw that against PSG. We saw that. So hence why the Bayern Munich Arsenal final, for me, if that happens, I'm very worried, because we beat them in the group stages quite convincingly as well. And that was at Emirates, right? This is going to be in Budapest. It's going to be a bit more neutral. So it's going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to go and how that's going to develop. Please bring us North London Derby, Champions League. I don't want that at all. I don't want that at all. Because if Spurs get to the semifinals of Champions League, that means they are actually good, because they will have beaten Barcelona on the way. They're going to beat Newcastle maybe on the way, and they're going to beat Atletico Madrid on the way. That is something I'm actually worried as hell if Spurs get to the semifinals of Champions League. I would not be as confident. Let's just put it that way. Dappin's going around. You'll have to see big up handlebar, big up handlebar, big up. I see some things happen. Where? Also attention Premier League race, but hopeful. Yeah, hopeful. That's all we have. One game at a time and move in silence. I definitely don't want Atletico Madrid. Lookman's signing for Atletico Madrid has completely changed the Atletico Madrid attack and the way they go about things, because that is absolutely insane. And for me personally, that semifinal against Atletico Madrid would be like night and day compared to the game we played at the Emirates during the group stage. Same as with PSG. The game at the group stages, we demolished by PSG. We absolutely ran over them. And we saw what happened in the semifinals. We saw what happened in the semifinals last year. As they would see us past Spurs, we know this is around that you want to play Spurs only because of Eze. Come on, man. Like, we cannot rely on that. What if Eze is not available? What then? Then we're screwed. If that's the case. Spurs getting to the semifinal while fighting for the relegation Premier League. That actually would not be surprising. Personally, to me, that would not be surprising, because for me, for example, Borussia Dortmund, they got to the semifinal or the final of Champions League in like mid-2010s, and they almost got relegated from the Bundesliga. Like, there is some sort of a correlation sometimes with teams that they go far in the Champions League or another cup competition, and at the same time they struggle and they fight for relegation, not to get relegated, basically, in the league. It would not be the first time, so I would not be surprised if that is the case. But if that would be the case, that would actually show that Igor Tudor is doing a very good job with Spurs. Very good job, because for them to get to semifinals and beat Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Newcastle on the way, that would just show that it's not going to be as easy as people make it out to be. Oh, we beat Spurs in Premier League. That Champions League would be just different. Let's just put it that way. Jokes aside, I think our best play in the semifinals, Newcastle. Yeah, most likely. Most likely. It would be partially boring as hell game, two boring as hell games to a degree. At the same time, I think that would be the most favorable, so to speak, opponent in the semifinals if we get there, right? Because Barcelona, that's a wild horse and a toss-up. The attack that Barcelona possesses is scary as hell. For me personally, that Lamine Yamal side against Hincapié or Calafiori and Gabriel would be definitely some squeaky bum time action. I would be very worried about that, right? Rafinha against Timba and Saliba also would be a worried, and Zubimendi and Rice midfield against Pedri, against Fermin and all these guys. It would be a bit rough. Obviously, Barcelona can be got at because defensively they are quite shaky. Let's just put it that way. Kubrazi is not as good defender as people make it out to be. He has very high potential, but he's not at the moment. He's still developing. Juan Garcia is doing some decent job, just like Chesney and everyone else. It would be a very, very interesting situation going on there with the Barcelona game. It makes the fans uncomfortable, but Arsenal either needs a Premier League, Champions League. Yeah, to be honest, for me, we need a major, and it's Premier League or Champions League. If we don't win it, Arteta has to go. Because, don't get me wrong, if we win Carabao Cup, I will be happy as any Arsenal fan. If we win the FA Cup, I will be as happy as any Arsenal fan. But for me, 6.5 years in the works, $1 billion spent, these FA Cup and Carabao Cup, even a cup double in that regard, is not enough. Majors are everything at this stage, for me personally. Majors are everything. Premier League or Champions League. I'll just put it that way. The reason I want Spurs because if we lose, Arteta definitely gets sacked. Plus, we find out the truth about all the players. Well, we're gonna find out the truth about the players, no matter how you look at it, right? It's gonna be, for me, the truth would be just Arteta, because if Arteta would get outclassed by Igor Tudor, there would be those questions and those talks would get dark real quick. Let's just put it that way. And if we go out Eddie Howe, we have done it before, and I don't want it, but hey. And against Barcelona, there's never shame going out to Barcelona, but I don't want that happen as well because I want to win the Champions League. It sounds weird, but I'm actually worried as an Arsenal fan that I might live my 80 years on this planet, 75, however much God is willing to give me on this earth, and I actually might not see Arsenal win the Champions goddamn league. That for me is a worry. I'm gonna be honest with you. The same goes for Premier League, to be honest. If we are looking from that perspective, I was 10 when we won the Premier League last time. 10. For fuck's sake, I'm 33 right now. I'm gonna be 34 33 gonna be this year. I'm gonna be 33 this year. Like, that is also 23 years. Like, come on, man. Like, it's been way long overdue. $1 billion spent, that sounds like painful spending, exactly. Especially looking at the sales that they don't recoup much in recent, because it's Arsenal, right? Maybe with Berthe it will change. Yeah, we need to show for it. Let's be honest, we won the Premier League title, but much rather would like Arsenal winning the Champions. I want both. I don't give a damn. Give me all the trophies. Give me all the trophies. Because I want the Premier League, I want the Champions League, and everything. For me personally, right, if you put, figuratively speaking, gun to my head and ask me right now, do you want Premier League or Champions League? Sorry. I would say I want Champions League, actually. I would say I want Champions League because for me, personally, that's the only thing I haven't seen. Well, Carabao Cup as well, but that's a different story. But that's the only thing I haven't seen. I might not see through my lifetime. And that is the only thing, and I mean only thing, that any other team that we usually debate and discuss and argue with, the fan bases, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, City, that's the only thing they have over us. They have the Champions Leagues, we don't. That is the only thing. If push comes to shove, and you have to do a really hard pushing to make me shove as well, I'm saying Champions League. Big up promise. Big up promise. Big up promise. Big up promise. Hope you're doing well. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very, very good. Good join Champions League. We're chilling. We're doing well. Just discussing the Champions League, discussing Arsenal versus Chelsea, and all this stuff. The usual suspects. You know how the thing goes. The usual suspects. Yeah, and subscribe to Prominence as well. And there was COYG's link. There were many links. AJ has put all the links in the chat. If you haven't already, go subscribe. Go show some love, people. Big up, everyone. Big up. I don't care. Arteta could win the quad, sack him over the injuries. I get the reasonings why, but if he wins the quad, he's not getting sacked, first of all. Second of all, he would do something that pretty much no manager has done ever in their lifetime. So that would put Arteta in such category in terms of stature that it's just nah. And he would get if he wins a quad, right? Just hypotheticals. I'm not Dio, right? If he wins a quad, build him a statue outside the Emirates. Genuinely, at that stage I cannot do, and I have nothing to say. Build him a statue then. Just saying, if he pulls it off. Just got home. Damn. You traveling or it's just work? No break. Holy crap! No breaks. Eee. I hope it's not like icy and cold and it's not slippery at least. Not only that, in Champions League participates only top 3, top 4 teams of all major leagues, which makes it... Yeah, exactly. Different styles, different adjustments, different teams. Everything is different. Everything. You have to travel all across Europe and all this stuff. Like, it's completely different situation. And let's be real, that's the only thing that has eluded us. Big up, Bargav. Big up, Bargav. Yeah, still going, still live on occasion. In recent times, just on occasion, I just upload videos. I still do it, but I tend to upload videos during the week because during the week with work and everything, don't have that much time to stream. But during the weekend, Saturday, Friday, even if possible, Sunday, I tend to stream. Last week I streamed these 3 days. Hopefully this week I'm going to do it too. If he wins the Prem and Champs, wow, I'm going to have to hold. Yeah, I'm going to be happy as hell. And he will get his praise. I will stand here. I will admit I'm wrong. And he's going to get a standing ovation. And I'm going to go celebrate. Can bet your ass on that. That Arsenal 4-1 against Tottenham makes me feel they have something in them in this season. They're not going down easily. I get it. But for me personally, the issue with this is the fact that many Arsenal fans are getting way carried away with this Spurs win. Because Spurs have new manager, first of all. Second of all, Spurs look lost on the pitch half the time. They didn't know they want to play 5 at the back, 3 at the back. They want to fully press, not press. The gaps between defenders and midfield and defenders in general were just massive. Like, arguably, Spurs this season have been the worst team Arsenal have faced in any competition, arguably to a degree, home and away. And that's why I don't take this Spurs game as a measuring stick to that high of a degree as maybe some other fans do. Because if we can do this against Spurs, why we are not doing that against Brentford and Wolves, for example? Like, they play different style, different systems. Spurs didn't do what Wolves and Brentford did, for example. They tried to figure out what Tudor wants, and you could see that the players were confused. They weren't fully committed to certain things because Tudor, again, he's not the greatest of managers. He has had 11 jobs in like 12 years. At the same time, like, first game, nothing figured out. Spurs are Spurs. Like, I'm not going to get carried away. Let's just put it that way for lack of a better word. Do you think Spurs actually go down? I don't do these things often, or pretty much at all. But AJ, look at this. Look at this, AJ. Look at the schedule that Spurs have. Fulham away, Palace at home, Atletico Madrid away, Liverpool away, Atletico Madrid at home, Forest at home, who are on fire at the moment, Sunderland away, tough game. Brighton at home, Wolves away, Villa away, Leeds at home, Chelsea away, and Everton at home. All these games for Spurs, since it is Spurs, are not as straightforward as you may think. Do I think Spurs are gonna go down? I'm not too sure at this stage. Saying that, Spurs currently are sitting 4 points, 4 points above relegation. Four. I kid you not, it's only 4 points. West Ham are fighting for their lives and they're crawling out of the mess they have been in. They are in a very decent form. Let's just put it that way. Forest as well, they have been quite good recently, so they actually might overtake potentially Spurs. Spurs are gonna have massive struggles. Spurs are gonna have massive struggles. With 11 games to go, they have 4 point gap over relegation. I think it might be enough, but it also cannot be enough. Let's just put it that way. Especially the way Tudor wants to play. He plays five at the back, well, three at the back. It usually doesn't translate too well into Premier League. Teams play it, but they don't achieve much with it. The last time, like properly, someone achieved something in Premier League with three at the back was when Chelsea won the league, and that was a decade ago, pretty much. So definitely, it is. I think it could be very, very hard life for Spurs. Very hard. As a side note, the fact that Man City and Real Madrid play again, I find it's insane. Like again, like 5-6 years in a row, it's actually insane. Sure, that there are serious discussions because Spurs could actually get relegated. Mathematically, they're good. There are good chances. There are good chances, actually. That's actually kind of nuts, even if you think about it. Can you imagine next season if Spurs go down? They have the 40 to 46 games, and everyone would expect them to finish first. And imagine if they don't, they finish third. They have to go into playoffs and all this stuff. Like, it would be insane. I actually think Spurs go. Forest and West Ham and Leeds are in the far better form. Yeah, exactly. For me personally, I want Leeds to stay up. For me, Leeds is one of those teams like I cannot hate. I like Leeds. They're like one of those, when you have your soft spots for specific teams, unless we play them, obviously. But Leeds is one of those teams for me personally, right? I would love for Forest to stay up. And West Ham at the moment, the way they are fighting for their life and how they are going about things, I would not be surprised if West Ham also stays up. They're in a very decent form. They have been on the up recently. Nuno Espirito Santo is doing a very decent job, so we'll see how that's going to go for them. Obviously, who does... Wait, where is Premier League schedule this weekend? West Ham play against Liverpool away. Like, everyone would expect Liverpool to win. At the same time, Liverpool at home, they have struggle towns. City play against Leeds at Elland Road. City tends to do very good against Leeds, no matter how you look at it, right? They do well against Leeds. So even though Leeds are in a good form, this could be one of those games where unfortunately Leeds just fall short. I would not be surprised, personally. But damn, that Sunday games. But Wolves are completely done. Zero chance. Yeah. They are done. I'll just put it that way. They are done. Well, 29. They're playing their 29th game. For Wolves to stay up, let's just put it that way. There are Wolves 20, let's just say 28 games, right? So 11 games, 33 points. They can get up to 44 points, technically speaking. Wolves need to win every single game till the end of the season, more or less, and hope at the end of the day that the rest of the teams just lose almost every single game. There's no other way. So mathematically speaking, yes. It looks like Wolves are going down. That's been pretty much confirmed. And oh my God, big up Promise. Promise Gaming. Sorry, I don't know why I call you Promise. I don't know, but Promise, big up to you. Big up to you. Hope you. I'm kind of lost for words. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, I didn't expect that one single bit. Like, you're a gentleman, you're a scholar, and I hope you're doing well and everything's fine with you. Go subscribe to Promise Gaming, people. Go subscribe to Promise Gaming right now, right here, right now. Go, let's get up his subs, people. Let's get up his subs. Go show him some love and appreciation. Damn. I'm genuinely lost for my thoughts and words at the moment. Holy crap. Big up to you. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Big up. Holy crap. Big up. I unfortunately don't have any clips to play as funny ones as thank you, but thank you for your support with views, with likes, with comments. If you choose financially, it's never asked, but if you do it from free will, thank you so much. Thank you. Whew. Whew, whew, whew. Genuinely, I have no idea what to say right now. A tiny bit. Kind of confused. But big up everyone. Big up. Big up Eros, Andre, Richard, Wahaha, Gunarican, Chris New, Views, JP Vasco, Abs, Waffledon, AK, and TKA for receiving the memberships from Prom Ice Gaming. Big up to you. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Okay, let's try to get back into business. I wonder what will City do against Leeds. Well, they will, What do you mean by what will City do against Leeds? What do you mean by that, actually? Because I fully expect for City just to go there and to score about 3 goals. I think the game is going to end like 3-1. I think Leeds are going to get a goal. Maybe Pascal Stoik is going to score or someone like that. But at the end of the day, I think Man City are just going to come on top. At the end of the day, they have just too much quality and they have reasons why. They have everything to play for. And let's be real, they are picking up some steam. Signing Semenyo and Gehi for the Premier League has given them some extra step. They have definitely lifted their quality, especially at the back with Gehi. Obviously, Gehi cannot play in Carabao Cup final, but that's a different story. We don't care about that. But yes, Semenyo and Gehi, they're definitely going to be two massive improvements. They did very good in the January window, 100%. Big up, Ryan. Big up, Ryan. Yeah, we have gone very lucky. We have gone very, 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 very lucky. And maybe we can. We have, as again, Leverkusen, we should be beating them. It's not going to be easy, but we should. Then we have Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon, two teams we should be beating. Will we? That's again, we will not know until we get there. If we get there, against Bodo Glimt playing in the Arctic Circle, it's going to be a challenge. Against Sporting Lisbon, the Jokeres derby and everything, the revenge for Europa League when we got lobbed from halfway line by Goncalves. Like, there are lots of stake everywhere. And then in the semifinals, if we get there, who are we going to face? Like, Arsenal on paper have the easiest route to semifinals. Let's just simply, if you look at paper. If you look in real life, we'll see. Because if City balls it, Arsenal gets major lead. Well, at the moment, the difference between City and Arsenal is 2 points. Like, I know in the table, right? I know that in the table, at the moment, it says 5. The thing is, City have a game in hand, first of all. And second of all, I fully expect for City to win that game in hand against Crystal Palace, right? I fully expect that. So in my mind, I go just by saying that it is 2 points, right? I go by the fact that it is 2 points. And those 2 points, it's nothing, especially with the fact that we still have to go to Etihad. Let's just put it that way. We must take every game seriously. Exactly. Every single game is a final these days. Every single game is a final. and we cannot treat it any way or other like that. Because for Arsenal, we have no room for error, so to speak. Because as soon as we drop points and City get their game in hand done, it will show what is what, whether it's going to be a draw, we're going to be on the same points or everything. Like we need to win every single game pretty much. Do I think we gonna? No, I don't. I'm very sorry, but I don't. Do I think City is gonna win every single game? I don't think that as well. The big question is which team is gonna drop less points? That team is going to win the league. Let's just put it that way. And big up Promise for becoming a member. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Thank you. 11 memberships for the day. Insane. Insane stream, insane comeback, so to speak. Big up to you. Big up to you. Gentleman and a scholar. Big up to you. Again, I'm kind of lost my thought. Barts, I feel like yeah. A decent day. Very good day. Big up Promise. Big up Promise. Go subscribe to Promise Gaming, people, if you haven't already. Genuinely. Oh, I lost it. Where are we? I knew Aston Villa weren't going to be in the title race anyway. Yeah, I had that. Like Aston Villa for me was sort of like Liverpool from the time, like from last few seasons. Not the last one, but before when Arsenal were fighting City. They're gonna be thereabouts until March, April, and then they're gonna fall off because too many competitions are gonna basically drain them out. They don't have as deep bench. Plus, well, they don't, as I said, they don't have the depth and the quality enough. And they're going to focus on Europa League more because Emery knows how to win that stuff quite nicely. So I think they have to play Lille in the round of 16. It's going to be very interesting to see what Aston Villa does against Lille. Very, very interesting. Let's just put it that way. I'm surprised United is challenging for Champions League spots. Last season they finished 16-17. What a change. Yeah. United are up there. 3 points clear of Chelsea as well and Liverpool. They're up there because they win. Carrick is doing a very good job. Carrick has beaten City and Arsenal in the span of 2 weeks. That definitely has put extra spring in their step. Let's see what they do afterwards. Let's see. Oh my God. Big up for the super sticker, Promise. Big up for the super sticker. I have a very strong feeling Promise has won a lottery today. Either he is an oil magnate, or he has won a lottery, or maybe Bitcoin jumped about 10 grand and he just cashed out. Like, that's what I'm getting right now. Big up, Promise. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Thank you for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Big up to you, my guy. Big up, big up, big up. We are the best at hockey. Canada's our dogs. Big up, USA. At least you can win something. I agree with you. City will have 59 points. They will not make it easy for Arsenal. They will not give up. Exactly. They've been the chasers. They've been the leaders. City know how to do both. Arsenal know how to lose in those both spots. And Arsenal need to rewrite that history this season. Because there is, for me personally, how I see this, there is just a specific amount of time window where you have a chance to win the league, right? Then that window closes, other teams take over, and you have to a tiny bit reset because mentally it's draining, physically challenging, and all this stuff. And despite Arsenal's team, how we are playing and everything, it feels like Arsenal's team slowly is getting drained by that, especially if we don't win. It's very hard to be up there for 4 years in a row. It's very hard. And for the 5th year, it could be even more draining unless you sign more players, constantly change players and everything with the quality to maintain it, maintain the freshness, the same abilities, and throw extra challenges to yourself and the team and other teams. It could become to that, and it's very, very hard. The other cup games we got to take seriously as well. Yeah, not just Premier League, exactly. Carabao Cup final, FA Cup against Mansfield, and the rest of the games, if we get past them. Champions League goes without saying, and of course, Premier League, that also. This was a good draw for us. It was a fantastic draw for us, to be honest. On paper, again, we have the easiest way. But again, you know how Arsenal do things. When it's on paper, it looks easy. Arsenal always manages to find itself to make somehow very difficult. And in the worst case is that many times they do this thing where they shoot themselves in the foot, like they did against Olympiacos, like they did against Villarreal and Emery, like they did against Monaco. And there are so many examples, which is very frustrating and very scary. Yeah, today bring a lot of good news. Promised you get a promotion. It feels that way. I did an extra 20 hours driving. Extra 20 hours. Are you a delivery? Delivery? Do you make deliveries? Sorry, or an Uber, or like driving instructor, or like extra shifts and stuff like that? Oh, I see. Big up to you. Just helping people out. See? Nice person, big heart, just helping people out. It's always great being nice to everyone. Like, being nice and polite costs nothing. Obviously, it's painful when other people, when you are nice to them, just basically say screw you, like PG version style. At the same time, it's very nice. It's very nice. You have a 12. Oh, a truck, a 12-wheeler. Damn. So big loads, I assume, like big carriages, like across the state or across the Europe, or what? The Champions League playoffs are done, and I already wait for the next games. Snow and ice clearing winter job. I see. Extra shifts, extra ways. See, hustle always pays off. Side hustles and everything. Exactly. Being nice costs nothing. As I said, it's annoying when people it's basically screw you over with that, and they use your niceness for selfish purposes. But hey, it costs nothing. It genuinely costs nothing, because one time being nice, genuinely, it takes one time. Sometimes takes one word, just a simple hello, or opening door for someone, or carrying their bag, or helping them pick something up what they have dropped. It literally could make someone's day. You never know. So yeah, being nice costs nothing. Be nice to people. Don't be bad. Be nice. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that's gonna go. But yeah, overall, we'll see. For today, I think I'm gonna lock it off, though. It's been a very long Friday. It's been great with having you here. Gonna be back tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna talk about Chelsea. We're gonna talk about some other news, other Premier League games. Because tomorrow as well, if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow as well, obviously Leeds play against Man City. And the game ends just before I go live. The game ends half an hour before I go live. So that's definitely gonna be something we're gonna look at. We're gonna try and utilize, and we're gonna discuss, because that definitely is gonna be something where we need to look at things 100%, because overall there is no other way, there's no other instance where this could go so wrong and so good at the same time. Can we win the Champions League? Yes, we can. Like, that's the biggest thing. We can win it. The biggest question is, will we win it? Because that goes one way. Will we win it? It's a completely different thing. And unfortunately, with Arsenal, it can go either way. With Arsenal, it is a hit and miss at times, unfortunately. So time only will tell. Time only will tell, and time only will show. But overall, there is obviously possibilities that we can win it. We have very favorable schedule, very favorable path. Do I want Arsenal to win it? Of course I do. We should be beating Leverkusen. I know it's not going to be easy, but we should. We should be beating also Bodo Glimt or Sporting Lisbon. Will we? We'll see. And who are we going to get even? We will see, right? But overall, come on. There is a possibility. Over 2 legs, Arsenal can beat anyone. And at the same time, any team can beat anyone. Over 2 legs, Bodo Glimt can beat us. Let's be real. At the same time, at over 2 legs, Arsenal can beat Barcelona and everything. One game can decide the fate. One game can decide everything. So we will see. We genuinely will see, because at the moment, it is a bit like 50-50. Let's just put it that way. At the moment, it is a bit 50-50, but I fully believe we can do it. It will take some patience. It will take some grind. It will be very, very rough, so to speak, to a degree for Arsenal, because we haven't been there. It's going to be mentally and physically draining, especially since rotation will be key. And with Arteta, rotation has been one of the biggest weaknesses and one of the biggest talking points in this community in general, in Arsenal's fan base. So that will tell. Also, injuries will affect a lot. And the biggest worry is with the players not being able to rotate, especially, for example, Timber at right back, because Ben White is injured quite heavy basis, right? It could mean that some players break down, and that is for me the biggest worry at the moment, because if some of the big players break down, we could be screwed. You see, Arsenal deserve it. Like, I know what you mean by that. But for me personally, not always the team, the club, the person even that deserves it gets it at the end of the day. Not always the ones we think deserve it or should be getting it, get it. That is the biggest thing, and that is one of the biggest life lessons you need to learn. Unfortunately, usually you learn it the hard way, but hey, it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah, not always people who should be getting it get it, and not everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves it. Many times also, unfortunately, people who don't deserve it get it, and people who deserve it are always left in pain and sorrow. But all we can do is pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and we'll just try and go again. Genuinely. Learn from mistakes, learn from the pain, and use that pain as motivation to achieve new goals. Big up, Kwaja, big up. We don't need a miracle per se, but we definitely need some luck on our side. Let's just put it that way. We definitely need some luck, no matter how you look at it, no matter which way you look at it, no matter which side you want to look at it. We definitely need some luck. Let's just put it that way, because without luck, nothing's happening these days. Without luck, nothing is happening these days. But yeah, from me for you today, that will be it. Exactly. We were lucky in a draw. Now it's time to use that luck and to use that to our advantage and go far in Champions League and win it maybe. But yeah, on that positive note, we're going to end today's stream. So if you haven't already, like it, subscribe it, and see you soon. Peace.